Is it better to ignore the past or embrace it? That's the question of the day. My name is Silas Nasita, 31 years old, live here in Waco, Texas. I've been wrestling with that question because yesterday I asked two different people if I should delete my YouTube channel altogether or should I just keep posting it. So here's the problem. Here's the dilemma that makes me ask the question, is it better to ignore the past or embrace it? The problem that I've been wrestling with is that I built my YouTube channel as a young 22-year-old living in Germany, and I was making a lot of travel videos, vlogs, culture analysis type videos where I would try different things, really just an American living in Europe. But since over the last decade, I moved back to the US and started a business here. I live here. And about a month ago, I decided I really wanted to start making YouTube videos again. I get on YouTube and start posting videos of the things I like to talk about, the things that I'm interested in now. And naturally, it makes sense, there's a lot of pushback, a lot of comments from people that are like, we don't want to hear this, stop talking about this stuff, etc., right? Which is valid. If you found me and I was doing one thing, now I'm doing something else, people, I guess, expect consistency, which is fair. And I think it's fair because I never really had maybe a formal, hey, this is my channel now, I'm not doing this content anymore. And I think audiences deserve to know, hey, he's not doing that anymore. So, I think one thing I'm gonna do, this is a side note, I want to do a tribute to my time in Europe video, where I think I talk about my favorite moments and what I learned, and then that's it. I'm not gonna be making that content anymore. But I go back to it. So when I was younger, I was more interested in hype, entertainment, views. I loved it, excited about it, and that was the time of my life. But my life has changed. I've gotten older, things have changed, I've settled down more in the US, and I have two options. Either I just completely delete my channel, start over with a new one, posting the type of content that I want to create, or do I just embrace that past and be like, that was a great part of my past. I loved my time in Europe. I learned a lot, but that type of content specifically is not me. That's not what I want to do anymore. And so, that is the dilemma. And I think ultimately what I landed on after talking to some people over the last couple days is that I want to embrace my past. I want to embrace the fact that I did live in Europe at one point. I did create content over a certain type of thing at some point. But I can change. I can be somebody else. So, for example, there are certain things that haven't changed. I wrote this down. I'm just going to read it. I'm not the 23-year-old living in Germany making crazy videos, but I'm still the curious, passionate man who loves telling stories and engaging with others. That's not going to change. And I think I've been reading these comments from people. I think most of the pushback is coming from people from Germany because that's where I first started, and it's just different. I'm different than I was then, and I'm talking about things that are different. The feedback has been fair and logical. This one comment from Total Dropkick said, as far as I understand Marcel's statement, quote, US might refer to and not Jesus. I guess Marcel did not intend to imply Jesus was an American. You might acknowledge that passionately talking about Jesus to strangers or others without being asked is quite an American thing, which in turn people in Germany could consider as disconcerting. I actually don't know what disconcerting means. Let me look that up. Causing one to feel unsettled. That's valid. That is a valid point. And I thank you, Total Dropkick Core, for pointing that out. And I guess I do have to consider that. However, I will say this. Talking about faith openly is weird for Germans. I get that. But also, so is just walking around with a camera and talking to strangers. And so is all the things that I did in Germany that created this whole thing. Like, people loved the videos that I did of me being this like young, curious guy walking up with a camera, walking around and just showing his life in Germany. And I'll be honest with you, like, that was disconcerting to a lot of the German people there. But was it a good thing or a bad thing? I think a lot of people, obviously if you're subscribed to my channel, you really actually enjoyed the fact that I just went and created all these videos in Germany doing all these things. My question to you is this, for those that are unsettled by me talking about my faith. Is it possible that you could gain something from me talking about my faith, even if it unsettles you? Because when I first got to Germany and I did some of these videos, it was unsettling to people. But I think a lot of good came out of it. And I think a lot of people really enjoyed the content I made. I mean, obviously they did. I mean, millions of people watched and commented. And I can't tell you the countless amount of messages that I got from people that said things like, thank you for highlighting our culture in a good way, in a positive way. Thank you for just going out and trying to be a part of our culture and showing the goods of it. But I'll tell you what, I got a lot of strange looks when I was walking around with a camera in Germany. But yeah, so I'm gonna embrace that. I think I'm gonna embrace it. I'm not gonna delete the channel. I'm not gonna start over and just do something else. I'm just gonna keep making videos. And for those that find it unsettling that I'm so open about my faith, what I believe about God, what I believe about Jesus, have the same curiosity and open mind that I had when I went to your country and lived with you and tried to be like you guys, even though there's a lot of things that were just different and weird for me. Like, Germans and Americans are different. I saw a lot of Americans go to Germany and think, these people are different and I don't like it. It's weird for me. You guys should just stop doing this. And I found that really arrogant and offensive that these Americans would go to their country and not have an open mind and not listen and learn and try things. Because that's what I did, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made. And so I'm almost asking you, the German viewer that is unsettled by me talking about my faith, could you have that same curiosity about me, if you're gonna watch this channel, that I did when I went to your country and lived among you guys? And if you can't, and you just like don't want to hear about faith or God or any of that stuff, that's totally fine. I'm glad you were here, and I'm thankful that you were a part of it. But please unsubscribe, and please go subscribe to Nauf. He's a good friend of mine that is an American living in Germany, and you can just see content about Germany. I don't say that with like a angry heart, but rather just like, hey, this channel isn't for you, and that's okay. And I appreciate you being here as long as you did. But I will be talking about my faith. I will be talking about what matters most to me, the things that I've learned, like things that I think about, and what does it mean to be a good man? What does it mean to be a whole man? What does it mean to live a life of courage? Those are the types of things I'm going to talk about. I'm going to do my best to stay open-minded, and even the people that disagree or push back, I'm down to read what you have to say. Now, if you're just coming in the comment section just to like say stop talking, then stop listening. Like, you don't have to be here. So yeah, this has been good. I think tribute to my time in Europe video, I'm gonna do that as almost like as a thank you. And if you don't want to be here anymore, this is my last gift to you, the viewer that has watched me in Europe. And then Serge had a question that I wanted to talk about. This This is what Serge said. Hey Silas, I was wondering if you'd be open to sharing your perspective on something I've been trying to better understand. Specifically, what have you learned about having a relationship with God or talking to Him, especially in a way that doesn't feel like you're just talking to the air or making things up? I often hear people describe their experiences as if they're having real-time conversations with God, and I'll be honest, it's hard for me not to be skeptical. I can feel fictional or even a little silly at times, like they're talking to someone who isn't tangibly there. But I also recognize that there's probably more to it than I understand right now. I genuinely want to know what the experience is like for you and how it's become something real and meaningful in your life. I love that question, Serge. You don't fully understand, but you're open-minded and you're asking a question. That to me was the essence of what made my content in Europe good. I didn't fully understand, but I was open-minded enough to ask questions and learn. And like that's what I want this to be. I want this to be a place. If you don't agree with me, that's great. That actually creates more conversations and better conversations. And that question, Serge, let me answer briefly and then I'll make another video where I can talk more about it. But briefly, it's this. Faith, the essence of faith is that you don't fully understand before you just start to do something. And that can be applied to all things. Imagine if you wanted to learn a language and you wanted to go talk a language that you don't fully know, you don't fully understand.
Das ist ein Baum. Das ist ein Auto.
It requires you to act before you fully get it. And the more you act, the more you do it, the more things start to make sense. And so for me specifically, no, I have never tangibly, audibly heard God's voice, but I know when He speaks to me. There's multiple different ways that He speaks, and I can go into more detail in the future, but let me just tell you right now that you're not crazy for feeling like, man, I'm just talking to no one. I myself have felt that before, and countless other people I know who have a relationship with God, they have said many times, sometimes I feel like I'm not talking to anyone. And that's where belief and faith come in, and we can get into that later, but great question. So thank you guys for watching this video. One thing I do know about YouTube and doing it in a long time, it's very easy sometimes to just read words on the screen and assign the tone. And I'm trying my best not to do that. I'm trying to read the words on the screen and just like really think about the words and not the tone of them and not take it super personally, but rather if somebody is speaking and actually has a genuine thought, I want to be able to consider it and respond. But sometimes it's hard to determine if someone's genuinely trying to ask you something or somebody who's just trying to cause problems. So long story short, thanks for watching this video. I am gonna embrace the past, keep the YouTube channel. I'm not deleting it, and I'm gonna keep posting, and you're welcome to stay, you're welcome to go. God bless.